In a minute. Well, that didn't want to swap over properly, but either way, guys, hi, hello. You know, it's the first time in a long time we've started a broadcast with a player of Polt's caliber. So often we just do the community casting, so this is pretty cool beans. You know what, I just realized, if anyone, I doubt anyone from ESL is watching, but I will get the logos up and all the good stuff. I totally forgot about that. We're getting into this first game today, though, for the Go for StarCraft Monday Premium Cup. This is Rifkin. I'm today casting with Nova. And spawning here in the upper left corner of Derelict Watcher, it is CMStorm's Polt.
And in the bottom left, as blue, it's going to be from Team Next. It's going to be KnowMe as Protoss.
Now this is actually quite cool to me, because on one hand, we've had KnowMe actually recently compete in the Kaspersky Hotsary, and they show up in several various cups. He's not been able to pull off any crazy victories or upsets, but Saturday even, we saw Polt get taken out by a relatively, not unknown, but not renowned Protoss player, Fiery Tycoon. So, is Polt slipping in his TVP, I wonder? We'll have to see. He's a monster Terran, everyone knows him for being so goddamn good at this game, but we've seen he can bleed.
Yeah, definitely, and it was a pretty straight-up macro game as well. No shenanigans, nothing, just straight up, and that was on Belshire though. Remember, it was a pretty crazy game. If you haven't watched it, go check out our YouTube. Always a good spot to find some VODs. Anyway.
One thing I want to point out, and I always point this out, because I want other Terran players to take heed and note of this. One cool thing we always see Polt do, his first and second supply depots will never go at the top of the ramp to choke it off. So many times, it's not even a 4-gate, it's not even 3-gate pressure, just a Stalker and a Mothership can tear those down. And it's a terrible, terrible waste. Now later on, once the game gets going, we'll have to see players, including Polt himself, block off that ramp later on. But at the early game, your supply depots are so critical to your army. It's hard enough to get units out in the field as a Terran player as is, but if you lose those depots, that sucks.
That sucks hard, because being supplyable when you need those Marines, never a good thing.
That's a little interesting to me too, Polt coming out with a Reaper opening. He's got to know, like, okay, it's KnowMe, it's a Protoss player, generally Cybercore, Gas, all the good stuff. The Reaper's going to be an advanced tactics scout, I feel, and that's about it. Actually, speaking of advanced tactics, one thing I saw, I don't know how I had not heard about this sooner. Have you seen the whole White Raw Pro Recall thing?
Like, to a hidden base, or?
Yeah, he'll make a hidden base, and rather than transferring the probes across the field, he'll recall them with a Mothership core, so that they don't get seen transferring. It's pretty wicked.
You have to see my beta VODs then, man, on my personal channel.
Oh, were you like the original White Raw? Ooh, now Polt did lose the SCV, but he gets that Engineering Bay block off, and of course you can't just cancel that for that refund, but losing the SCV on top kind of makes this not really worth it.
Yeah, there's actually a really cool thing Protoss do. Most Protoss will start the Zealot. If they see the SCV incoming in your base, they will keep the Zealot. If they don't see an SCV, then yeah, they don't have to fear an Engineering Bay block, but having a Zealot out is crucial to deal with the Engineering Bay block properly. So else they will just cancel the Zealot and just get a faster Nexus up. So a pretty cool thing, but we will see KnowMe go with a Zealot Stalker Mothership core pressure to follow this up. That's also a very handy thing.
Well, the problem with this too for Polt,
yeah?
Look at home. He's got the bunker at the top of the ramp, and that's great for defending his expansion, but KnowMe can walk right past it. He'll take a little bit of peppers, a little bit of heat, but he can walk right past us, go into the main.
Yeah, but Polt should notice though, is the Reaper comes in, sees no Zealot, no Stalker, he knows what's up.
Yeah, unfortunately the Mothership core's not here with the poke, so it's just gonna come back home. Is defending against that Reaper.
Yeah, because there's nothing to help defend against this Reaper except the Mothership core currently, so...
You know, the one thing I'm a little worried about here for Derelict, for both players' aspect, Derelict Watcher is a massively large map, and if either of these players were Zerg, we talk about them having a massive advantage, but Protoss, I kind of feel are at a bit of a disadvantage versus Terran on this map, because it's such a big map, if you catch the Protoss army in the north, you're going to absolutely find the Terran dropping in the south, but it's very difficult to respond. Knowme is kind of limited, like, yes, I'm looking at the map right now, like, he can expand, probably get as high as 4 or 5 bases, but defending those bases versus Polt, it's going to be so critically difficult.
Yeah, just the distance between your third base and your fourth is gonna be like massive, and that's why perhaps Knowme might consider an alternative.
Well, yeah,
build.
that's why I was bringing it up. A lot of
map.
players will end up playing off of 2 base a lot more comfortably on this map, and go to 3 or 4 as the last result.
Also, a thing I like here from Knowme is he got the early forge for the early upgrade, but also gets the cannon just in case of Widow Mine drops. Not always a wasted investment, because...
Well, it's good for not just Widow Mine drops, but drops in general. Like, let's say Polt comes in with Marines later, no Marauders in that medevac, well, that cannon will defend that base.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're 7 minutes 30, it's still quite early. Usually when those cannons up after 10 minutes then, but it's more now for the earlier drop. But yeah, you're correct, it's definitely gonna defend later on, but the Observer actually saw the double mine drop.
Yeah, it went right past him, it's a little unfortunate. But, I mean, on top of that, too, for Polt, he didn't put Marines in this. So these are 2 Widow Mines that are going to be unused, and that's perfectly fine, because he wouldn't have caused any damage with the cannons in the mineralized as is. And Knowme's even actually placing sentries here. He wants to make sure he absolutely does a ton of damage before that Widow Mine can burrow.
Yeah, the cannon will just finish in time, it looks like, or just not. Yeah, he's fine.
Now, one thing I'd like for Polt to do, I mean, he's not going to get in here and cause damage. I mean, he's going to try to, but he's going to see the cannon and back away. I would almost like for him to instead put the Widow Mines out on the map in places to scout, like find the army incoming, if you will. But he actually baits out a Photon Overcharge, which I find incredibly ridiculous considering the fact that he had the cannon there.
Yeah, Knowme is like, you shall not drop. But Knowme doesn't know what's in that Medivac though. It could be still Hellbats or...
No, that's a really good point, actually. If that was like a full of Hellbats, Marines, or even Hellions, the cannon alone may not have been enough, but...
Yeah. And there were only like sentries in position, and the Stalker is out on the map.
Now this is kind of cool coming out of Knowme, and I like this. He is going to get that new Warp Prism out, and the thing about the Warp Prism is it's so flippin' quick now. You can actually get around the map relatively easily.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but where is this Reaper going? Is it just checking on the third? Looks like it.
Well, confirming there's no third base, Knowme does have this nicely positioned proxy pylon, I must say. So even if he can't get the Warp Prism off, he will absolutely be able to get some Zealots warped in behind enemy lines as Polt is across the field. But he can't really afford to warp offensively right now. He needs everything at home. Charge being chronoed out. He knows he needs this, but will it finish in time?
Oh, how does he into Colossus? I think this is such a smart play. And Polt checking with the Medivac, and he might not want to commit into this. Well, actually, he can take this army quite easily.
The Colossus hallucination is actually incredibly tactical because Polt did not scout the main. He doesn't actually know. Like, he saw the robo when it was constructing, he has no idea if the Colossus was a follow-up, and Colossus is a very common follow-up. This is actually some really cool mind gaming coming out of Knowme.
Yeah, and Polt is making like Vikings as a response to this.
Oh no. Talk about a huge bait. Meanwhile, we've got the Warp Prism full of a couple Zealots ready to drop here on the third. And Storm coming out so quickly. Oh my goodness. This is going to work really well because Polt is a bio player. And here comes the SCV transfer. Can Knowme catch some of these? 2 Zealots going to run into the third. Looks like he's going to warp into the natural. Kind of wish he would have done that in reverse order.
Yeah, perhaps. The Warp Prism is going to find to the main though. So, yeah, aggression on 3 sides. And in the meanwhile, he's moving out his army as well, catching out his small bio force.
Oh wow. Yeah, forcing Polt to absolutely pick up and retreat. This is so weird. This is some really cool tactics coming out of Knowme. I really like this.
Yeah, but the Vikings are here now. But can they shut down the Warp Prism in time now with the upgraded speed? Yeah, well, if the Warp Prism goes in warp-in mode.
If it goes to warp-in mode, yeah, it's gonna die. A Warp Prism, for those who don't know, actually outruns Vikings now. Unupgraded without the speed boost, it does in fact outrun Vikings. So, if you just keep running...
The mine!
Oh, no. Gets a sentry, a full energy sentry no less, and now he's going to deny the natural as well, or the third base, sorry. Oh, Nomi, taking some pretty annoying harass from these mines, but nothing critical. I want to point out the big thing here, though. Polt's got a massive supply lead right now, and that's not just in workers, that is in fact army supply.
Yeah, but Nomi didn't have an observer close enough. He had to bring the observer, which is scouting for drops on the right-hand side. He had to bring that back to clear this mine, so the mine doing a lot of indirect damage.
Nomi also only with 1 forge right now. This is, he's going for armor upgrades first, which I really enjoy that choice. When you've got charged lots with 3 armor versus 1, even 2 upgraded marines, they don't really touch you. It's not until you get those level 3 upgrades. So Storm and charged lots with 3 armor this early, they're going to have no problem dealing with the massive bio that Polt currently has.
Yeah, definitely, because Polt is only just starting his 2 armor, and the 1 weapons is a fair amount on their way, but not nearly as close as the 3 armor, so Nomi could perhaps do some aggression once that 3 armor finishes, though.
I don't really want to call this metagaming, because Polt's playing very standard. He's finally getting that Ghost Academy. It's going to be hugely good for dealing not just with the Zealots, but also with the Templar. EMPs, snipes, they're all things you absolutely need to deal with the composition that Nomi has. And I think Polt kind of realized a little while ago, like, hey, there aren't Colossus on the field, but now we have double Colossus production, so again, getting maybe a little bit mind-gamed by the build choices here and the tech swaps of Nomi.
Yeah, but he already...
Oh, 2 storms are holstered and ready. Hallucinate Colossus is going to drive this back. Again with the really cool attacks. Medevac's getting feedback, but they're already low on energy, so they do not die. And the Time Warp just barely does not catch the army.
Yeah, but one thing though about the mines in front, in between the natural and the third from Polt, is that he saw the composition with those mines as well. And he saw those Colossus weren't there like just a moment ago.
Yeah, like what he's going to do, hide them? Now this is actually really cool. Polt's already defending the warp in location here, so the third base is not touched, but he's got a bunker up behind the mineral lines, and I really enjoy that choice. Charge lot warp-ins are the most irritating things for a Terran player to have to deal with. They do way too much damage for how beefy they are, and it's not easy to clean up. You don't just send like 3 Marines like you would versus Zergling run-bys. No, Zealots are a big deal. So the bunker there, it's kind of like, okay, he's got to basically donate 4 Marines out of his army to defend, but making sure this base never takes any real damage is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, you're correct. They can be very, very annoying to deal with. I hope Polt doesn't forget this patrolling Viking on the side though. I know it's to intercept a possible War Prism, but he might need that Viking to add to his current Viking count, because there's a lot of Colossus coming out. And
look at the map vision of Polt. He's spreading Marines across the field as if they were overlords. I mean, he's going to have some pretty nice knowledge of knowing when the Protoss army is incoming.
Yeah, he did miss that prop going to the Zalnaga though. That's a bit unfortunate. That one place he didn't have anything to, but the double drop might be...
Well, he had
just go to Zalnaga.
He had the Marine there. It was fighting the Zealot was the thing. It just, of course, got killed and ravaged by the Psyblades. Actually, what are they called? Really? Are they even called Psyblade? Yeah. They are Psyblade. Oh, Rifkin, you and your Protoss knowledge, top notch.
So sick. So sick. But yeah, as you said, extremely nice map awareness from Polt. And how does Nomi really retain this map presence?
You know, this is a really nice tech swap out of Polt too. Typically, Hellbats will be incorporated with the army, but he's seen that there are so many charge lots throughout the course of this game. He's made a ton of Hellbats, and the Hellbats are going to be great for 2 reasons. One, they're going to help deal with the Zealots quite effectively, but 2, they're going to soak a lot of damage from the actual Colossus that are now on the field.
That's correct, because of their HP. That's 135 extra health to soak, but also EMP. Does he have actually ghosts?
Yeah, he's got a ton of ghosts on the field right now. In fact, let's see just how many. It is 6, and they should be pretty much full energy. They've been on the field for quite some time.
Yeah, they're waiting in front of the natural.
God, look how long it takes for these Zealots to die, man. Like, +3 armor is ridiculous. And let's not forget, too, Guardian Shield will be a huge bonus to the actual army when he takes that head-on fight. It affects the area units, too, so the Vikings doing 2 less damage to those Colossus with each volley. Polt does not have a lot of Vikings is the problem. So these, the actual Colossus are actual problems now. They're no longer fake hallucinations. Polt can't just ignore them.
Yeah, but he's adding even more Colossus? Is he really going to, like, 8?
Yeah, but this is what I fear for Nova. Polt has seen hallucinations all game. Oh no, the Colossus are completely out of position! Why are they not with the army? Oh my god, Warp Prism, or sorry, not Warp Prism, but he does recall to save most of the Colossus. That could have been devastating for Nomi. If he had lost all of those Colossi in that single push, that almost would have been game.
Yeah, now he has to give up this base, I feel, or Can he still hold his aggression on Polt? But in the middle, there's a big
Huge
drop
drop.
going on at the third. Yeah, wow.
4 medevacs of units coming out here. The feedbacks do go off. They're not enough. He needs some storms. There's a Templar there with 130 energy doing nothing, just watching his brothers die. Huge recall coming in though, and Polt's just going to lift up and leave. And now that Mothership Core has no energy for Photon Overcharge, he can't recall to this other base. In fact, it is killed.
Yeah, it wasn't cancelled. That was a big loss for Knowme. But again, the multitasking of Polt just superior this game.
I can't even... it's so weird because Knowme's been doing so many cool and intelligent moves this game that I think anybody who wasn't at Polt's level of play would have already lost just to the pure mind games, making the wrong composition, all that good stuff. But Polt, he's seen through it.
Yeah, and well, although the Protoss has 3-2 now, Polt will have 2v2 himself in just a moment, but can the Protoss really attacking these planetaries?
He's actually going to get a bit of a pincer move on him here. There's a lot of everything here actually that does not work for Protoss composition. Storms do need to go down, but the army is so spread out. Even if the Storms blanket everything, they still don't touch everything. Ghosts in the back planetaries as well. Vikings are actually almost completely gone at this point.
Knowme doing a great job in this fight, even though it was looking a bit odd, but...
If Polt had fought at the planetaries, this would have been a completely different outcome. I think a little overzealous for him to take the fight out in the open the way he did.
Yeah, only 3 Colossus remain though. He will replenish them eventually, but the Viking count has been hurt quite a bit here.
I want to point out in the lower corner of the map, we've got a 15-year-old Terran player, Hero Marine, as he takes out that pylon.
Yeah, wow, it's one Marine. That's plus 3 weapons for you, man.
Man, Hero Marine is so good even when he's not playing. He is in StarCraft 2 games. I'm a little shocked he didn't get a re-invite to the Kaspersky Hots Arena, by the way, after winning 2 back-to-back.
They're like, yeah, this guy won a lot of money.
Yeah, we've given this guy enough of our money.
Time for another one.
Let's check the upgrades right now. I mean, it is looking really good for both players. Resources lost to this point too, heavily in the favor of Polt. Not to mention the map control. I mean, look at this base. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases at this point. He's got a ton of sensor towers. And normally when a Terran player makes a sensor tower, it's exposed, it gets torn down very easily, and it doesn't live very long. But Knowme's not been able to push up into any of those.
Yeah, the sensor tower, the Zon Naga of Terran, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're a huge deal. But of course, actually, oh, who was that? I can't remember. It was at the Ends of Wings of Liberty. There was someone I know who, they actually hallucinated like 14 Zealots or something to make it look like he was attacking into the sensor tower, and we had a Terran player move completely out of position, and the army sweeped him from behind. It was really cool tactics to see someone abuse the sensor tower like that.
Wow, that was really cool. That sounds really cool. But yeah, here's a bit of an issue though. Like, Polt can't really run down this ramp, but neither can Knowme. He can't really attack up the ramp, but Polt is gonna sting down.
Some beautiful EMPs do go off. Ghosts in the front lines. Most of the Templar are dry at this point. I think that's going to be the last storm we see, but 2 more Templar coming in from the north, and he doesn't have any energy for EMPs or snipes.
He still has another storm though, again on the
Vikings. Yeah, this is really hurting for Polt. His Viking count getting so very low. The Colossus is now able to just kind of roam freely.
Yeah, just 2 Colossus, but it's
there's so many Marauders
against Stalker.
Yeah.
Marauders against Stalkers and Colossus.
Well, the Archon's actually soaking a ton of damage for the Colossus, and we look at this, Polt's actually going to be driven back, but his production is huge. Look at that, 5 more Ghosts on the way, but Knowme also with double Colossus production, keeping toe-to-toe with the supply count of Polt.
Yeah, but Knowme doesn't have enough Stalkers now to chase these medivacs. It'd be nice to reduce some of this medivac counts from Polt, because that's going to be an issue. I mean, he can just resupplement with Vikings right now instead of having to resupplement with Vikings and medivacs.
I'm really hung up on how classy of a move that was out of Knowme. When his Templar became dry, first off, he stormed to about half of them, the other half got EMP'd, so what do? Make a ton of Archons, and we saw the Archons live to the end of that fight, so it was a really smart move out of Knowme. A lot of players might have just panicked and said, screw it, let's retreat, but instead Knowme said, no, this is my base, you get the hell out.
He said, not me.
Ha ha ha.
Come on. But it looks like Polt wants to keep engaging like the 4th base of Protoss, which I think is a good choice because it will keep his bottom right base safe as well at the same time.
4 SCVs, big sacrifice to the greater good. Now, oh my goodness, Nova, we've got 4 nukes, possibly a 5th one if it's not already armed actually, on the way. It is already armed, so we're going to have 5 nukes on the field. And this is going to be great, because nukes, I don't think there's any Terran player who counts on a nuke landing on his enemy's army. It's mostly used to zone out and create map control where he can then sweep in from behind, snipe the Nexus type thing. And Polt's just the type of guy to do exactly that. Now, if Knowme, of course, has a nuke land on his army, he's gonna have a real bad day.
Oh, and the Ghost is at the third.
Alright, here comes the nuke, and it's out of range of the cannons, too.
Uh-oh. Knowme.
Knowme is gonna lose so many probes here, guys. He's pulling at the last possible second. He realizes just barely in time what is up. Oh my god, no, that could have been devastating, but we got 4 more nukes armed and ready to go. Will he drop another nuke in the exact same location? Who would expect it, right? Like,
yeah,
why would
he goes back to mine and he's like,
oh
okay,
no.
Yeah, nothing's going on.
Meanwhile, Polt's gonna use this distraction to attack in the south. Will that nuke land? It is gonna land. It gets, oh my god, so many probes!
That was, yeah, we can just click on the Ghost. 26 kills.
Wait, where's this next nuke coming down? Oh, again on top of the Nexus.
That's 4, oh.
Yeah, well, the 4th base as well. Lots of nukes going out. Oh, Knowme's Colossus!
He doesn't have a detector.
Oh, it's not going to land. It's not going to hit the Colossus, though. But they are going to run into the Vikings. GG is called. Too many nukes are thrown down, and this Nexus once again going to be nuked. Let's stay in the game here real quick and watch this nuke land. I don't think it'll kill the building, but it'll come close.